Hello, everyone. My name is Professor James Hayton. I'm the Pro Dean for External Affairs at WBS. I'm also a Professor of Innovation in the Business School. It's really amazing to be able to share with you another fascinating story from our alumni community, which really is a community like no other. I'm joined here today by three WBS alumni, Sumedha Sharaff, Pallavi Sharaff, and Mansi Agrawal, who together recently launched O&O Beauty, an ethical cosmetic and skincare business based in India, which is aimed at empowering women to love themselves unconditionally. Through their Shades of Love Foundation, the brand also supports menstrual health programs for women so that they can fully participate in school, work, and wider society. Thank you all for taking the time to share your story with us today. We have a number of questions for each of you to understand more about your connection to Warwick and your business. If I may, I'd like to start with a question for you, Mansi. How did you come together to set up O&O Beauty?
Well, it's quite a story, really. We're three women from completely different stages of life. But what brought us together was this shared passion for entrepreneurship and a common love for beauty industry. Funny enough, it all started as a random conversation in the midst of the pandemic. We were talking about our own experiences and our aspirations, and one thing led to the other. And somehow, within a month, we had a full-fledged business plan. And that is when we knew that there's something real and compelling about this idea, and we couldn't ignore it. And from then, it was only about putting our heads together and to make it happened. We knew we needed the right products for the right products. We needed the right manufacturer. So we head out to, find the right people. And our manufacturer also happens to be a fellow woman entrepreneur. And I think that was pivotal in our journey because she understands what we want and what we wanted to cater to our audience. So yeah, despite our varying age group, we found that we bonded like family. And I think that was also our secret weapon because we saw a potential in each other's strength. So you see, it was more than just a business venture for us. It was a labor of love fueled by our shared passion for the beauty industry and our unwavering belief in women's power and potential. And before we knew it, O&O Beauty went from being just a random conversation to a tangible reality. And I think this has made me realize it's amazing how things can come together when you have the right people and the right drive.
That's fascinating. This is a question for all of you, and Mansi, you've touched on this a little bit, but could you tell us a bit more about what motivated you to establish the business?
So I'll jump in here. My personal motivation, Professor, was that I was a beauty enthusiast, right? I would travel, I would collect all of this new makeup, all of these new products using innovative ingredients. And I was always recommending them to friends and family. So when we discussed this idea, it seemed like a natural fit. As an entrepreneur, I said something where you can extend your passion into. It doesn't feel like you're going to work every day where you're, trying out different lip oils and lipsticks and foundations. So it was a huge passion project. But also, I think with O&O Beauty, it gave me personally the chance to use the creativity to extend my entrepreneurial drive and to bring to market something new. So we have really, tried to understand where the gaps were in terms of product. And that's been extremely motivating for us, that how do we bring something in which is new, which, challenges the status quo and which fits in with the life of women. Women are multitasking. I'm a mother of two. I felt that I needed products which could, work with my lifestyle. And that was a huge motivation, that let's get the correct product into the market. So I think it was a marriage of love for the industry and the love for entrepreneurship. For me personally, that really motivated me.
So for me, as said earlier, I had graduated back in 2020, and it's been 3 years now that we finally launched. And then the pandemic hits. It was a whole career change for me. It was like an unexpected event that I came back to India, and I think this was a perfect opportunity that I saw in front of me. Plus, starting it in the family, I think, was the easiest way to, to grasp the opportunity and to start working on it. Plus, for me, obviously, my aunt was a makeup enthusiastic, but for me, when I was in the UK, I saw there were so many brands that were giving clean makeup. They were sustainable, they were good for your skin, something that, you do not hesitate in applying every day. So that's when I saw there was a need in the Indian market, because you have either makeup brands which are very high end, or you have which are the mass ones, but they're filled with chemicals. So for someone you want to apply every day, you're going out, there's a gap in the market that I saw. Hence, I think starting O&O was, providing makeup which are products which are safe, eco-conscious and cruelty-free, and feeling like we're filling a gap in the Indian market.
So before diving into O&O Beauty, I was working in the startup world. I was with a venture capital fund in India, and I was introduced with these passionate founders and, innovative startups every single day of my work life. And a spark was growing inside me each day. So I knew I had to create something of my own. And O&O Beauty may have started as a passion project, but it was backed by solid ideation. And the timing was such that there was this incredible wave of growth in the beauty industry in India, and social media was playing this massive role influencing the trends, the choices, and making the consumers aware of what they want and making them more conscious about their choices. So there was this golden opportunity not to be part of just this market, but also to offer something that was innovative, authentic, and of top-notch quality. And that really resonated with this new consumer. So I think it was an exciting time, and we wanted to grab this opportunity. So that was our main motivation.
It's really interesting. I mean, we know from research the very significant role played by passion of entrepreneurs, because it's such a hard thing to do, right? And you've got to influence the world to start to think and to buy into your ideas. So passion is so important, but that's got to be coupled with that knowledge and expertise in a particular domain that you want to share with everyone. So it's a great story. Thank you. Let's see. This is to Pallavi. Your ethos focuses on empowering women. How can we encourage more women in India into the entrepreneurial sphere?
So, Professor, to just, to point out, I feel there has been a surge in India recently where there are more women entrepreneurs. There is rise in digital media, in e-commerce platform, and the technology and the change in social norms. So I think women are entering the market of entrepreneurship. Plus, I feel there was a survey that was conducted which showed there was a 20% rise in women entrepreneurs in India in the last 5 years. And the government, I think, is doing the best on their end. They are helping women with small businesses, with financial aid, with capital, with networking events, or even in the skill and market development. Plus, I feel there's so many incubators in India that have come up, like the We Hub or the Women Innovator, which help women concrete, to fulfill their ideas. You have an idea about how to start the business and how to build the whole, to be supportive in the community. So I think that is already happening, but I still feel there are some women who lack support from their friends or family or the society in general, or they have a lack of knowledge in terms of they have a business idea. When the three of us started, when we came up with the idea, thankfully we had a lot of support. We have a lot of help to start the business. For someone who has the idea, but you don't know how to start a business from the ground up. So I think for them, they need to be more aware of certain mentorship and networking programs. There is the Federation of Indian Women Entrepreneurs, or the Young Ficky Ficky Ladies organization. So they really help women start their business, someone who started the business to expand the business. There are many courses, online events that can help them build their skill set. So I think for me, certainly the Young Ficky organization did really help me out with my development as well and business expansion in India. Plus, I feel in society, or if we celebrate women's entrepreneurship more, make it more visible for them. So I think that can be a motivating story for other women as well. They are not scared. They can take a leap of faith, I would say. They can take the risk and they can jump into this whole industry themselves. So if you see Mansi, as she said, she quit her job. I was wanting to do a job earlier before this opportunity came. So I feel women need to grasp it, especially when it comes down. There are certain industries which are very male dominated. So it is a barrier for women to enter still, I would say. But it also depends if you take the opportunity at the right time. If you let go it's going to be very difficult to come back to, I feel. But if you act upon it, I think it's going to be a very big change for someone. So I feel with our stories of three women, again, we're from three different life stages. I feel hopefully we can impact someone else in different generations, different women who can, start their own idea and build on it and make it concrete.
Absolutely. There's nothing more powerful than role models for all of us in inspiring us to sort of take on something that's challenging and perhaps a little frightening. And I think so. I'm very interested in the impact of fear and fear of failure on entrepreneurship, and we all have it, and it's how you overcome it. And role models and social connections, social networks, and support and training are all things that can help mitigate that fear that we all experience. So thank you. That's very interesting. Let's see. Sumedha, you've created the Shades of Love initiative, which funds menstrual health products and education for those in need every time someone buys an O&O product. Why did you decide to give back in this way?
So, Professor, when we were looking at starting our brand, it was really important that we have a purpose which was just not selling our product, but a purpose beyond. And we wanted to embed from the get-go a value system where we understood that we have a greater social responsibility. So it is unique. Usually, companies, once they make a certain amount of profit or they're in business for a certain amount of time, is when they undertake CSR, as they say, social projects. However, this is something we did from day one. The first invoice that we generated, we said every invoice we're going to give back. And what do we do? How do we give back? There are so many different causes. But as women, when we're talking about empowering women, when we're talking about selling a product which makes a woman feel more confident, makes a woman feel more beautiful, it has to be a woman-centric cause. That we were sure about that. And then we said, okay, we talk about gender inclusivity, but how can you be gender inclusive when women don't have access and young girls don't have access to menstrual products and services? They can't, really be involved in work, in school, if they don't have access to these basic, menstrual products. Period poverty is a reality, which when we're sitting in urban cities, when we're sitting in, schools which have all access, we don't realize that period poverty is a problem. In India, I think we are doing a great job. We have a lot of institutions which are talking about, menstrual equity, as they say, and they do their bit. But I still feel that there is a large number of women who drop out of school because they don't have access to menstrual products. Hence, we said, okay, this is a cause which is very close to our heart. And this is something which we can do from the grassroots level. We decided that we were going to distribute menstrual products which were biodegradable to girls in schools. And why did we choose the younger girls? It's because they are actually the next generation. And if they get used to, and if they imbibe these, systems in their life, then they will change the mindset going forward. Also, I think it helps us foster a community where people, they understand that a small impact. I'm buying a product and it's giving, 1 month of a safe period to a woman. It's a small impact, but every small impact matters. So it has really fostered this community of consumers which say, hey, this is a brand which has a purpose. It is a brand which has a voice. And I appreciate that. So that's the kind of community that O&O also wants to bring. I would also just like to add here that just distribution of menstrual products is not enough. In India, we have huge amounts of taboos which are associated with menstruation. And that taboos need to be addressed. So we need to educate. With distribution, we need to talk about it. We need to educate young women, mothers, and try and, break these shackles of menstrual taboos. So that's our small bit. And that we've only started in July, and we have around 800 women whose lives we've touched already. It's a small number, but this is something that we really want to grow in. We want to get, associated with other NGOs who are already doing a lot in this field. And Shades of Love is something which I think is so close to our heart as founders. So hence, I think that's the topic we chose. And I think it's going to be, it's something which we want to grow with and explore what else we can do.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, it strikes me as incredibly authentic. And so it's inspiring because of that as well. It's not just a gesture, but it's clearly something from the heart and something that's incredibly practical and important. And I've seen, and I think we've all seen, when your stakeholders, the customers, suppliers, sources of finance, employees, and when they're associated with an organization with such a meaningful mission and set of values, you get an even higher level of commitment, and that's really valuable, especially in the early days of an enterprise. So I really wish you the best with that project. That's really amazing. Pallavi, let me ask you this: at O&O Beauty, you sell products exclusively online. Can you tell us why this approach is important to your business, and do you believe that this approach is the way forward for the industry?
I think this approach is honestly the way forward in the industry, because had we been only banking on retail spaces, or we would have just targeted tier 1 cities, maybe 2 or 3 cities at the most, because the we have to see the cost efficiency as well. The costing would be very high. Plus managing the retail space in different cities and the staff and the utilities, I think it would not be the best way to start the business. And with the online reach, we are targeting tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities. We are sitting in Delhi and sending products to, Tamil Nadu or Ranchi or Mumbai. So I think we are tapping different cities. We're covering pan-India. So that helps us expand the business and take it a notch further as well. Plus, with online, I think there's so much we can do with the data that we're capturing. You have Google Analytics. We are seeing when a customer is coming in on the website, what products they are liking, why they are exiting without purchasing, or what they're purchasing. So I think that really helps us study the back end and understand where we are losing out, or how we can make our business further, what marketing strategies we can use, and how to get more customers on the website. Plus, I feel the convenience that we provide, because a customer can look in the middle of the night. You don't have to go to a shopping space, retail space to purchase it. There are so many customer reviews. We try and give the best possible images and help the customers. Plus, we have a chatbot. So, we are always there to answer the queries. And so we want to have an AI tool on the website, which customers can, do virtual skin tone checks or try the products virtually sitting at home. So we do have that in mind. And I think the three of us as founders, we are very proactive with it, because we are there on social media, on Instagram replies, or on WhatsApp, and on the chatbot itself. So we try to talk to customers as much as we can. We do random calls to understand what the feedback was, if they like the product, if they have any problem checking out with the website. So I think we try to take much initiative, and had it been, again, a retail space, it was not easy to be in different cities to do that physically. So it's more about us building relationship with the customer as well, and to have a whole O&O community where you are not scared to buy makeup online. You can try, you can test, you can even send your face image. We can help you with this shade selection. So I think that is much easier. And I am in a different city. My aunt and Mansi are in a different city. So it's easier for the three of us to still manage sitting in different places and handling the business. So plus, I feel the shipping aggregators we have, I think, we are, again, covering pan-India. We can ship products immediately if the customer wants a product in 2 days' time. So we try to help them make the payment fast, do express delivery. So I think that, again, is easier for us, because we know what the customer wants, what's going to help them, how to send it ASAP. And yes, retail is a very big platform, but we try and do small pop-ups all around India, so that we can go, we can visit, we can let the customers have a whole touch and feel of the product. They can see the packaging, they can try on the skin if they like the formulation. And I think that feedback really helps us understand where we are with O&O. if we need to change our formulation, if we need to make it better, if we need to add in more colors. I think that feedback really helps us take it further and see where we are and how we can take O&O global in the future.
Interesting. Yes, the latter point you make is very interesting, because I imagine it's actually it's a type of product that face to face and presence is really, really valuable, and finding ways to combine that with an online presence is a very interesting challenge. And the other thing is, it strikes me, of course, you're also a technology company then, right? Because you have to manage data, and you talk about AI and so on. So I guess every company may be a technology company today, but certainly you must be developing those capabilities very rapidly, being an online venture. So yeah, and being virtual. I mean, how many startups now are born virtual like this? It's transforming the way we can operate. It's very interesting. Thank you. Mansi, how have you incorporated sustainability and sustainable practice into your business, and why is that important to you?
So, Professor, today, as we understand, sustainability is not just a choice. It's a responsibility for every business to offer with deep consideration for the environment and the communities they impact. So from the get-go, we made sure that our commitment to sustainability was woven into every aspect of our operations. One of the biggest steps that we took was we partnered with a PETA certified and vegan certified factory. Because for us, it was not just about the label, it was ensuring that our products meet the high quality standards, but also align with the ethical principles. So, I mean, if I could just give you one small example, carmine, which is an industry standard red pigment, which is used in industry-wide throughout the cosmetic industry, is actually made from female insects. And we came up with an alternative, and we have 100% vegan formula. And we were quite adamant about finding an exclusive replacement for carmine. And so, yeah, then there's packaging. We knew plastic wasn't going to help us. It's just too damaging to our planet. So we made sure, and we made a conscious choice to eliminate plastic from our shipping process. It did come at a higher cost, but we see it as a vital investment in reducing our ecological footprint. Our bags are compostable, even our bubble wrap, because our packaging is such that we need to wrap our sticks in a bubble wrap, but our bubble wrap is also eco-friendly. So we have tried to do our bit, and I think little things do add up. But it doesn't stop there. The Shades of Love Foundation is also doing double duty. So not only manufacturing, but also it distributes biodegradable sanitary napkins along with providing employment to women. So I think this goes beyond the environmental stewardship that we want to carry forward, because it fosters a culture of sustainability in the community that goes beyond our direct consumers. So I think that's something we have been really, really particular about from the very beginning. And looking ahead, we're also exploring refillable options for our new products, just to cut down on unnecessary waste and, encourage a more sustainable approach. So from sourcing to selecting partners, we've been quite meticulous in choosing how to go about our operations, and we've dedicatedly tried to follow sustainable practice. And this extends everything from raw materials to the process of production, and we're on a mission to be as sustainable as possible.
That's fantastic. It's really amazing. I think potentially the impact that kind of decision can have in terms of saving wastage and reducing plastics and so on. So I really applaud you and the organization for taking that approach, and wish you luck. I'm sure the consumers will value it significantly. So thank you. One last question for Sumedha. You've got lots of experience in manufacturing with Vikas. What skills and experiences have you been able to transfer from this sector into the new business?
So, Professor, I come from an industrial family where we manufacture automotive parts for OEMs like Maruti Suzuki. to Tata Motors. So it's a business which is B2B, business where, you don't really meet the customer. We're making highly engineered parts. R&D is a cornerstone of this industry. Quality control is exceptional. You run on GIT, right? So you're, making your products just in time to reach the car manufacturer's assembly line. It's a very, very different business. So when I came up with this D2C idea, it kind of, really had the boardroom of Vikas like, okay, what are we talking about? It's very, very different. Here we have a manufacturer who is outsourced, and we're so engaged with the customer. D2C is, where the customer, there's nobody in the middle. So it was a very unique kind of a business for everybody at Vikas. But I must say, certain skill sets and expertise have been so valuable for us, which we get from Vikas. I think firstly, it was a product sourcing. We were able to source very unique, innovative packaging. So our lipsticks are rubber coated, they're magnetic. And I think that sort of, expertise in sourcing these from Korea, from China, just the outer packaging, I think that's something which we got from Vikas. Even our domes, which are one of our best sellers, was something that, we really explored different manufacturers in China, in Korea, in Taiwan. And Vikas was definitely, coming from that manufacturing background where product sourcing is so important. I think that was one skill set. Secondly, I would say quality. At Vikas, we talk about 0 ppm, and we talk about, quality is just something we hold as a mantra. And with Vikas, we have a Japanese joint venture. We have a Korean joint venture in our manufacturing. So that's something I had seen growing up, and I'd seen being involved in Vikas, that there's nothing. You do not get to give a customer a bad product. It just does not work. So that's something that we really said, that we need to have these practices within our warehouse, within our dispatch, within our manufacturer, so that the end customer gets the product that they are promised. They don't get a product which in any way does not perform to their, expectation. So that was one thing which I think I really imbibed from coming from this manufacturing background. And also, I think continuous R&D. So we could be sitting in 3 months into, launching these products, and we still have this robust pipeline of products which are going to, be coming in the next quarter or the quarter after. So that robust pipeline, it's very automotive, right? What next? What next are you going to do? Because customers want that as well.
Yeah.
And they are looking for, we want something new, we want a different color, we want a different product. So that's something I think, again, comes from coming from a manufacturing background. We understand that the pipeline needs to be continuously, fed with innovation, with a new product offering. So even though it was, I think I really shook, the family business by going into this very new D2C sort of, industry, which is so e-commerce, but the lessons are invaluable and the support is absolutely invaluable.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So sort of manufacturing process and quality, sourcing, innovation through R&D, and maintaining that continuous pipeline are all things that apply across. But then you've got, an entirely different business model and a different sort of target market, of course, with consumers rather than other businesses. So that's absolutely fascinating. I'm sure that the experience you've got will stand you all in good stead going forward, and I hope that this is a tremendous success for you. That's all the questions we have time for today. I'm really grateful, and on behalf of WBS and University of Warwick, thank you so much, Sumedha, Pallavi, and Mansi, for giving us your time and sharing this really fascinating experience with us. It's really inspiring, and I'm sure your fellow alumni will really value this conversation. So thank you again.